Kaufman is alive. Look at comic books new and old. Today I'm looking at a new comic book, The Ultimates, number 5 by Marvel Comics. This came out in October of 2024. It's a $4.99 comic book. The cover's by Inyuk Lee. I really like this cover. Got this new Hawkeye character who's of Native American descent here in the reflection of the shield. I love all this like texture around the shield that you can see. Looks really great. He looks poised to be shooting that arrow at Captain America. And we get a couple quotes here to start off from opposing viewpoints, which really sets the tone for this book. As we do get a conflict here between this new Hawkeye and Captain America. We get a quote from Crazy Horse here, famous Native American chief, saying he basically just hopes for a world where all the 7 generations and all the tribes come together on all of planet Earth. So, and then we get certainly an opposing viewpoint here from the 26th president of the United States, Theodore Roosevelt. He says, I don't go so far as to think that the only good Indian is the dead Indian, but I believe 9 out of 10 are, and I shouldn't like to inquire too closely into the case of the 10th. So, not a very favorable viewpoint of Indians there by the president at that point in history. And you got to wonder if that's kind of the history that our Hawkeye character that we meet in this comic book has kind of been taught their whole life. So we start off here with Steve Rogers and Tony Stark here, who's Iron Lad in this Ultimate Universe. And Tony is letting Steve in on the fact that there's this new Hawkeye running around using his Stark technology here, all of his arrows. And when Tony went around and tried to recruit the new heroes, including Clint Barton actually turned him down, and this new hero actually just picked up all of the suit and all the arrows and heard the call from Tony and is following it in their own way. So, and Tony mentions that this technology that he's got could take down a whole army if a properly trained man were to use it. So, and Tony's worried that he missed his shot trying to get this new Hawkeye on their side. So Steve just sighs and says that he'll take care of it. So the writer here is Dennis Camp. We got Juan Frigeri on artwork here. Federico Blees on colors. And I do really like the artwork in this book. It looks really, really good. I've liked the story so far, the overarching story of Ultimates. And I like that every issue kind of has its own story with a beginning and end, and we're meeting new characters in each issue, basically just putting together this Ultimates team. Kind of in a similar way that they're doing the Ultimate X-Men comic books, where we were meeting new characters, kind of building the team each issue. Our team is essentially built, though, here, and Captain America was letting Tony know that everyone's kind of out on their own missions right now. So he says Doom's being Doom, whatever that means. She-Hulk's staying on her island right now, and is only coming to join them if there's a call to rescue or a direct strike against the Illuminati. We've got Thor and Sif, and Captain America says he actually doesn't know what they're doing. And Giant Man and Wasp are out rescuing another one of these heroes that they haven't come in contact with yet. And America Chavez is on her own separate mission. So everyone's out doing their own thing. We've got separate episodes basically kind of right now for each character. And I like the way they're introducing all of the weaponry throughout this battle between Captain America and this new Hawkeye. He says, sent a cowboy, huh? So we get a cowboys and Indians kind of trope here, at least in the eyes of Hawkeye, although Captain America doesn't really see it that way. He's trying to stop this Hawkeye from blowing up all these Roxxon oil facilities because obviously this character feels like it's infringing on their land. He wants to stop the oil pipelines, and Captain America is just trying to stop him from causing all of this damage using the Stark technology and to join their cause. So instead of being basically a loose cannon here. So, and this Hawkeye has a really sour attitude too. I mean, he comes off like a whiner, I feel like, in this issue, and I think purposefully too. And Stark brings up how he has in their like biometric readings of him or whatever that he's got more villain tendencies than hero tendencies. So Stark thinks that he's already been lost, but Captain America obviously still has some hope that they can bring him around to their side. But in true villain fashion, this Hawkeye, kind of feels justified in everything that he's doing, even if it may not be completely morally right because of all the transgressions, basically between America and all of his people throughout the years. So he's explaining himself to Captain America while Captain America is trying to explain himself to this new Hawkeye character. So, and we get, like I said, all these little blurbs of what these arrows are, all the technology, which I think is kind of well done. Some really nice art again here of Captain America. We get a nice multi-page battle between these two here. I don't like in comic books when they use like censoring, when they have like cursing in comic books, when they'll use like different texts like at symbols and question marks and exclamation points in lieu of like a cuss word. And I feel like if writers should just come up with other words if they're not going to just put the curse words in here. I do kind of like that the Ultimates are just blacking it out instead of using all of the symbols to show the cuss words. I do prefer this aesthetic, at least in a comic book. It does feel like something more is censored out. So, if they're going to do it, I do kind of prefer this way of doing it. I wish they would just put the curse words in the book if you're going to curse. So, and if you're going to curse and you don't want to actually put the words in here, just think of other words. So this character, Hawkeye, though, is explaining how he saw the vision of Tony Stark coming to all these people for this call to action. And he explains that his spirit name is actually Charlie Hawk's Eyes. So, and he uses his Ares, kind of gets the best of Captain America here for a second. We get more of all these arrows here. This kid's saying that he saw the mantle of Hawkeye and decided to take it. It's his vision now. And he's saying that visions aren't about the messenger or even the message. They're about the receiver. And Captain America's heard enough of this guy just prattling on. It finally gets him with the shield there. Again, this guy's just like the movies. Cowboy wins, Indian dies, everybody cheers. I mean, he's just such a sad sack. So, but here comes all the Roxxon like thugs here. They're like a cleanup crew, Captain America explains. Hawkeye says there's hundreds of them, 1,000 of them actually, is what he says. And we get a really nice page here of just Hawkeye and Captain America battling all these guys. They look like Crossbone kind of thugs or something. And then you turn to the next page, and the battle's all been won. I really like the way this is done. Some really nice artwork, all the bodies laying beneath them. So Captain America's obviously pretty impressed. And he says, is your spirit name really Charlie Hawk's Eyes? And he goes, you white people will believe anything. So, I mean, he's just got like quite the attitude. But we see Roberto da Costa here, Sunspot, as we know him as, and he's one of the members of the Illuminati here. And he's not too happy that the Roxxon Corporation's been getting taken out. He's got money in it. But we've got the Illuminati Hulk letting him know that he's taking care of all the Ultimates, which we found out a few issues back was his ultimate mission. So Roberta says, what do you propose? He says, very simple, I'm going to kill them all at once. So that's the end of this issue. We get kind of the cover here of issue 6, which looks pretty interesting. So I've heard from some other, commentators that about how this Hawkeye is actually referring to themselves as they, them. And I didn't see any of that even mentioned in this issue at all. Doesn't really affect my view of this character. I didn't really like his attitude, although I do like the character in the sense that I like this conflict between him and Captain America, and him joining this Ultimates team, if that's ultimately what's going to be happening. So he's got a cool look too, or they have a cool look, I should say, but I really enjoyed this issue. I've liked every issue of this Ultimates comic book series so far, so if you haven't been reading it, I definitely would recommend it, picking this up. So thanks again for watching. If you like videos like this, please like and subscribe. Really helps the channel, and I do post daily comic book reviews. So I'll see you guys on the next one.